So this is where nothing makes sense exactly, because it's like, well, you have to waste your time to get the work. Okay, so waste my time for a paycheck and get my paid for it. But then it's like I'm not supposed to be working unless I'm getting paid for it. It's kind of funny too, because when you really get down to it, you launder money, it's a federal crime. Okay. But you mean to tell me too, like, all these TV shows and shit like that, like, they're not laundering money? Because it's like, we already know how the churches operate and shit like that. You know, God is good, God is great. Here, give me $20 and I'll bless you again. And it's like, yeah, so here's $20 in my hard time. Hear the word of God. Figure out how to apply it to my life. Okay, cool. There's a reason why too, I've never felt right in any church I have ever walked into. And it's because of the fact too that it's like, first time I ever went, it was like I could see right through people. So it's like, you can't say that this is something new. It might be new to you, but man, I got like 58 more years to go now. No, not even. Yeah, we're given 80 years. No, wait. Yeah, no. 58. More like 68. I'm close enough to being 67 there. That'll be next year. So, at the end of the day, if the government wipes the majority of the U.S. out, then they can save all these trillions of dollars. Okay. You don't give one person a job and shit like that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, we're all about equal opportunity. No, you're not. Because if you were, why is there homelessness then? There's homelessness for a reason. And if I'm out in someplace foreign, I understand all of this. And I'm coming down to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm running out of fucking resources and lifelines and shit. It is what it is, man. But end of the day too, though, I don't take more than what I know I can pay it back. And I play my money right. It's when bum ass motherfuckers who have nothing better to do with their time waste their whole fucking life hating on somebody else and shit. Me, I just go about my shit no matter if you like me or not. If you're not gonna pay my bills, then there's no point. Especially too if you're gonna be in the mic being like, you all have daddies. Well, isn't that the whole reason why we're here? When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much. Yeah, we all know how that story ends. And then we're left here to be like, man, I didn't ask to be here. Well, you're here now, dude. Now you gotta figure it out for yourself and shit. Great. Now I gotta pay to live on a planet I never wanted to exist on anyway. But then also too, it's like, where does the word of God really spark into? You know, everybody can talk about God. The thing is, though, is we're talking about an unknown entity that we just hope exists. And that helps us get motivation for a bit. The problem is, though, if you really understood God, you would know for a fact that every day you're waking up, you should be grateful for it. And you shouldn't be hating on other people for any of your bullshit. You know, it was your choice to take the risk. Yeah. You know, this is the whole reason why, too. It's like, you want to call this place Nash Vegas. Well, I already know Las Vegas is full of loan sharks. And then you wonder why, too, there's that reality show called fucking Shark Tank. All last year, that's all one of my coworkers could ever talk about was Mr. Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, he's so wonderful, dude. But at the same time, too, nobody on that fucking show really gives a shit. They just got so much money piled up, they don't know what to do with it. That's where, too, it's like with me, shit. Yeah, even if I was handed that much money, I definitely wouldn't know what to do with it. But I do know for a minute, though, I mean, I'd fucking spend it on myself, look good. But I make sure I still have enough saved, regardless. I mean, shit. You can manage to make enough money. You realize you really don't need that much to survive. Especially too, if I'm going almost 2 months on $1,000. No, I have not paid any rent. No, I do not have a vehicle. And it's kind of funny too how it's like, oh, well, you have to have a vehicle here. It's a requirement to have a vehicle in order to get a job. That's what I find interesting. Because it's like when you have no source of like travel or nothing like that, your words are only just words. But that's the problem too, though, is that people want to be like, oh, you're just all talk. Well, until you let me prove myself, that's all I am, is just talk. You know, it doesn't take a fucking genius to fucking figure 2 and 2 out like this. But it does, however, take a fucking idiot to shit on somebody else's day just for the benefit of their pocket. Which is kind of interesting how that fucking works too. Which also says we've definitely overpopulated this shit. And it's kind of funny too. One thing I have noticed about fucking Tennessee so far is you guys, instead of having patches of grass like I'm used to, you have patches of sidewalk. And I'm willing to take a contract up with the state to fucking lay out more fucking sidewalks and shit, so that way it's easier to get from place to place. But also too, since you guys want to go based off a vehicle, I know this is pretty much going to be a worthless project. But at the end of the day too, though, it's like you got a footbridge for downtown to go from Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone Arena, everywhere in between. So, especially too, if I can walk all the way to Ashland City, my shortcut is literally going down Broadway and then up to Jefferson Street, going up to North Nashville, which is kind of interesting too. I've only ever seen like 1, maybe 2 crackheads. One was really fucking freaking at the bus stop in North Nashville. So it's like, damn. At least you guys don't have that big of a homeless population. You guys at least know how to fucking keep it secured for the most part. But other than that, though, man, I get it. 2 weeks of gateway drugs. Well, it depends on who you are and how you look at it. Because unless you're fucking disciplined enough to be like, well, I'm just smoking weed, you know, you might take a break here and there. But, I mean, unless you're really just going to be that big of a fucking crackhead and be like, man, I'm addicted to this shit. Yeah, of course. You just went up and smoked too fucking hard. And now somehow you're injecting yourself needles just to feel like someone. I mean, damn. That's not a way to fucking live in my ideas. The fact, too, that some people are still going to end up fucking being like, oh, man. My way of life well, you better keep that shit away from me, which I find it funny too how people are on the buses here and also hit me up. They're like, man, you look like you smoke weed. Okay, bro. So you're judging off of looks just like that. Man, you look like you're a pothead. Well, at this point I might as well tell you my criminal background, and that is the fact too that it's like, man, well no, you're once a year fucking crash out. No the fuck I'm not. If you give me a reason to fucking crash out, I'm gonna fucking show you a reason why you don't fuck with me. But other than that though, you know, I'm a good fucking person at heart. I'm not here to fuck nobody over, but that's also how too. It's like, man, you're too easy. You're too much of a suck up. Is what I should say. The problem is though, is I'm not sucking up the shit. I'm owning my shit. You know, everybody's all big and talkative on accountability. Nobody ever fucking follows through with accountability though. That's the other major problem. You can talk a big game, but you can't fucking put forth anything to fucking be like, man, I'm the shit. No, you're just talking like you're the shit. You know, it's like a chihuahua and shit like that, which I've actually had neighbors one time that had one. Man, that fucker literally wanted to fucking be right at my feet all the time. One day I decided to fucking chase it. You know, usually I look back and that fucker's barking. No, I decided to chase it one day. That motherfucker started yiping, dude. I was like, damn, who the fuck's hurting you? And shit like that. But once it actually gets to its owner's doorstep is where it's like, it gets better and shit like that. Like, it'll actually defend the fucking house. So it's like, at least it's not all talk, but it needs to be in a known environment. You know, it'd be like, man, look at me. Like, I can actually hold it down. I'm not just all talk. And we all know they're ankle biters, though. But too, it's like, yeah, I'm a big dog. No, you're not. Look at all the money I've made. Yeah, good for you. He says I don't have money. Like, just because my bank account shows nothing doesn't mean I don't have money. But the minute now I say that, so now we're back to how am I managing this money? Where am I getting it from? Well, see, this is the other problem too, is now you're asking too many questions. And you're jumping to all the wrong conclusions. Especially too, and it's like there's that theory where it's like, oh man, with your social security account, shit, if you look it up online, we're all handed $1 million when we're born. Well, if that's the case, where's my $1 million at? Look, no, he's just a broke bitch. Yeah, but that's the other thing too. Same person who says that they claim to own their house really doesn't if you're still fucking paying rent on keeping the lights on, the water running, and the power. So, you know, utilities and all that shit. You're still paying rent. So no matter what, no matter how much money you spend on a place, you're still paying rent somehow, some way. Now it's like, oh shit, Lynn's got a patio shop? That's cool. Family owned and operated, nice. See, that's the shit I like to fucking see. We don't have many fucking shops like this where it's family owned and operated. And it's like, so are you staying out here? No. I mean, I would love to, because this feels like home. At the same time, too, though, it's like, man, I came here just to scope everything out. Yeah, maybe I'm overstayed my welcome just a little too long. You know, I'm not blaming nobody. It is what it is. But at least too, I get to actually scope out these streets a little bit better and shit. So it's like, man, he manages to get around somehow and shit like that, and I'm too lazy to do it. Yeah, what's your fucking excuse? You're coming to hate on me, but you wouldn't even be able to do what I do in a day. No matter where I am, I'll always be productive somehow, some way, whether it's making money or not. You know, if you've ever played American Truck Simulator, once you drop that trailer off, you know you can just go wherever the fuck you want with the truck. So technically, in a way, it's GTA, but on a smaller scale. But even then, too, though, GTA is also not a one-to-one scale either. Yeah, they might have the landmarks scraped out, but end of the day, though, it's like whatever. But legitimately, and it's funny also too, the minute I fucking say, hey man, I'm an independent contractor for Amazon. Well, the minute I say that, it's kind of funny. But at the same time too, though, you can't tell me I'm wrong when you have papers up in the break room that said federal minimum wage for independent contractors in 1775. So you're telling me you're overpaying me, but by overpaying me, it's slightly under what's actually needed to provide for this economy. And then it's like, well, 9 to 5 will only get you so far. Yeah, you're right. And it's like, well, you can't survive off of a 9 to 5 without having your own business. Well, the problem is, though, your own business, you're probably going deeper down the rabbit hole than you're getting yourself out of. Because you can make like what, $600-700 a week and all that doing a 9 to 5, whereas you're spending $600 or $700 to maybe break even every day. It's like, where are you getting all this money from? Well, there's another fucking question, you know? Everything in life is a question until the day you die at this point. But of course, too, when everybody gets uncomfortable, man, you're just overthinking it. Whatever. You know, it's funny, too. Last night I literally had a dream where I found out where that one fucking place is at. And then come to find out, too, that it's tied in connection with every single fucking label. At the end of the day, you still don't fucking own it. It's not yours, but it also says, too, the only reason why you walked in there last time was to paint the wall. And like, I'm doing a navy blue now instead of red. Okay, so now it's like we can't pay ourselves, but then isn't that technically laundering money? But then at the same time too, though, aren't companies technically laundering money to fucking pay us every week? Or is that coming out of the federal thing? Which is kind of interesting too, how it's like, according to the Epstein files too, it's like, oh man, we did all this shit to you guys, we got away with it. Yeah, because you're an official. And the fact, too, that an official would do this to the people of their own fucking country, honestly kind of sickening. Yeah. At the same time, too, they're sitting around bitching about it and ain't gonna fucking do anybody good. Then it's like, man, we need a revolution. Well, it's a revolution. Everybody's got to be on board. We've already seen this with Area 51. I don't know how many more times I got to repeat that. But you would literally need everybody and their mama to be on board with the revolution. You know? Jesus flipped tables, but Jesus is only one man. Jesus can't do everything for y'all. And it's like, man, enjoy these last few years of freedom. Yeah, I guarantee you, just like the vaccine, there's still a fucking way to fucking cut loops and shit like that. Especially too when you have some people on fucking Instagram giving you fucking secrets. Man, I'm just an idiot. Well, then at that point too, everybody who is disabled or has like a learning disability or some shit like that should now be number one priority on a threat list. Because they're going to look too deep into it. And they're going to go paranoid with it. It's kind of interesting with that too, shit like that. Because we're already seeing that with the Epstein files. Like, you're looking too deep into it. Man, we got to kill off all these pedos. Well, my dad's in Hurricane, Utah. You want to go do something about it. But even then too, I doubt anybody would. You know, and I've never even gotten to know his fucking story neither. I never even got to know the guy. But that right there also says too, it was inevitable for me to be a sex offender or not, and it is true. Just because if my own family can cut me and my mother off from trying to get in custody over my fucking sister, it's kind of interesting because now it's like, man, I've been a lost cause since before I even knew how to walk or even talk. So that right there, yeah, you're your parents' biggest burden in the world. See, now we wonder why. Now I wonder why. You know, like the only thing I can ever do is represent the ones who love isolation. You call anti-socialism, but the problem is all your labels are fucking cheap. They're just there to make you feel better about yourself. You know? But then it's funny too how it's like, I like country and rap. They say I can't. I say I can't. Well, I give you what I could on what I got. And I made my own fucking country rap, but of course it's fucking kind of country. And every single verse is a rap verse. Kind of makes sense why now everything's getting harder for me. So now it's like, man, maybe I gotta go back to sleeping on my parents' couch. Because it's like I couldn't have my own place. You know, everybody in my family has tried to do what they can do for me. Some just want to blame me for not wanting to fucking take accountability in their own hands. Sometimes too, it's like, yeah, now I've got wrong on my hands too. At the same time also, it's like, you know, if I would have fucking known this world was this cold. Which also too, for everybody wondering how I got out of Ashland City, man, I got a few miles down the road. I was like in between fucking the welcome sign in Scottsboro and being in Scottsboro. And then somebody decided to pick me up, you know, give me a rundown of what the state is, which, you know, I already kind of knew going in. I was hoping somebody would fucking pull up, but at the same time too, I mean, I'm not gonna be the one to fucking take that shit for granted. We all got shit to do. It's just funny too though how it's like, man, we can hang out and shit, but like, I got shit to do. Well, you got shit to do, but you know, I don't want to waste any time unless there's money in it for me. At the same time too, it's like, I don't want to be a greedy motherfucker like that neither. You know, now everybody's gonna be like, man, when are you gonna step up to the plate to actually fucking do something? I don't know, bro. But like we've already fucking discussed, there's so many fucking heads out here. Every single window ever fucking built is a whole different life. You know, every single head you see on the streets living something different. And the fact too that you just want to pick random people out of the fucking pot. Back in the old days where it was like, man, growing up as a kid, using the popsicle sticks and shit like that, just pulling names out of nowhere. And it's like, you're your winner, yay! Man. Hey, thank you. But man, how does he know everything he knows? Well, now it's like, man, we gotta fucking delete the education system. Because clearly we're learning shit that we need for real life instead of learning nonsense. Well, the earth isn't flat, it's round. Well, it also depends on how you look at it. Because if the Bible says that we've got a dome above us, so then we're living in a fishbowl and all that, which is kind of interesting too, how we never put that together too. Yet we'll buy fish, make a huge ass aquarium just to look cool. Make people go like, wow, look at all them fish. They got bright colors, they're cool. You know, kind of funny too, it's like NASA started going to the ocean, now we hear nothing about the ocean. We're hearing everything about space. Here's my theory on space too. Is like Mars is a reflection of our future. You know? Everything that we've ever been told about this world is like, it's either past, present, or future. And it only makes sense this way. If you really look at it, you know, what's the one planet that claimed like we were existing on it at one point, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, it got too hot, it burned up, so now we moved to Earth. Mars is fucked up because we fucked up the economy. Now we're trying to go back and dig it all up to go live underground. Well, when you really think about it that way, technically, when we dig under sea level, we're underground. In fact, too, we're underwater. Now we're above sea level, then we're one with the Earth. But if we're under sea level, under water. So then we're existing with the water, not the land. Also, that's kind of interesting to think about now too. If anybody's ever played Magic the Gathering, you know that there's earth, fire, water, and planes, right? Planes has a little fucking sun looking thing, you know. Earth has tree on it. And the rest of it's just self-explanatory. What I find interesting too though is it's like, man, you can get killed for knowing too much. Well, the problem is too that why are you teaching us so much and then testing us for it to see how much we've learned from what you've taught us? So at that point, you pretty much just set us up just to fucking kill us so that way you can eat us. If you've already admitted that every fucking buddy in the elite families, whatever the fuck at the highest, legitly are cannibals. Well, the funny thing is too, You can go down into any rainforest in South America and find a tribe where, yeah, they'll be friendly to your face, but you try and leave and that's when you're gone. Then you're cooked up and you're the next fucking thing. So, like I said, it's like, oh man, cannibals exist around us. Yeah, just like pedophiles. Until the Epstein files, you still don't do shit. You know, so the only thing there is now is like, yeah, let's ramp up the jail time. So now because we're waking up, our sentences are getting deeper. Work is receding away. Not a whole lot left to do in this world. And then it's like, man, look at me, I'm rich, I got money, I can be your daddy. Okay, you sound like the next fucking pervert. But, I gotta get by somehow, some way. Which is funny too, because it's like, man, you're getting promoted. Motherfucker, I'm over here kissing your ass and you ain't giving me a promotion. Nah, because you gotta take my dick in your ass in order to get a promotion. Man. You know, and it's funny too, because I had an encounter like that in Amazon too. I walked in that one time. Shit, when you go talk to my manager, and I was like, man, can we go someplace where like it's less noisy and all that shit? He's like, sure, where do you want to go? And then it literally looked like he wanted me to get on my knees and suck his dick. I was like, bro, are you fucking for real? And then he got gone. I was like, oh, thank God. Just for me, we got legs. Kind of funny how that works. Cause and effect, pros and cons. Honestly, from what I've seen with Tennessee, there's more pros here than there are. Like, it's almost like everything that's pro here is pretty much a con in Utah. Other than the fact that there's less sidewalks and shit. So it's more sketchy to kind of walk anywhere. But at the same time too, it's like, man, you need a car. Well, you kind of need a car to go anywhere, yeah, true. At the same time too, though, I mean, you're giving feet, you're giving legs. You know, you got all the suspension and shit like that. And yeah, you'd rather put it to a fucking foot pedal. That makes you go zoom. Supposedly you're time traveling. At the same time too, though, it's like it's not really time traveling. But then it's like, man, we're getting closer to teleportation. Well, if we were, we wouldn't have cars. Isn't that the whole point for the BMW ad years ago? Man, we just solved everything. Then wait, how are we gonna sell our cars? BMW, buy one now. Everything's stupid, man. It's like, man, I did this. Well, now we're gonna kind of lose out on money. No. Because how much wattage it fucking takes to power that fucking heavy and shit like that for that much energy to go from one place to the other. I mean, all you would really need to do is take that, and since too you don't like to break even, just upcharge it a little bit. And then it's like, oh man. You know, which at this point too, it's like I'm in too deep anyway. So I can't really work a 9 to 5. I'm unmanageable because I can manage. And that makes me a fucking threat to society. More than you motherfuckers being like, oh man, I'm a cannibal, I'm a sex offender. Okay, bro. Whatever fucking floats your boat, a fucking delusion. Same time too, though, it's like, man, we kind of gotta just go with it. everybody's just kind of going with it. Like, the government wants us to repent. At the same time, too, though, it's like, man, we're not strong enough to fucking repent. It clearly shows. We're only a human. Humans do what they do best. That's not really getting anything done. I want to claim they can. Like I just said too, man, we fucking figured out teleportation in a fucking ad years ago. Just like, man, that shit's stupid. Now we're not gonna make any money. So you'd rather settle for pennies than to fucking get rich and explode this world into something out of this fucking world. Just to be like, man, we're using up our minerals. Like, what are we gonna do? We're using up all of our resources that God gave us. Well, that sounds like a you problem at this point, especially see if you don't want to be a part of the reason that improved this fucking place. You just want to make it worse to the point where every single Hollywood movie is becoming true. So now, America is Hollywood. We're living in a movie. Too many directors, not enough producers. So then it's really like, where do we go from here in a sense? Everybody's trying to fucking keep me quiet. It's like, no. Because we all know we're thinking the same shit. It's just who's got the balls to say it. Not many people want to take a leap of faith and just hope for the best. You only want to see the results after it's been proven that it fucking works. Especially too, that's the whole reason why there's doubters. Like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Yeah, watch this, motherfucker. Hold my beer. But it's funny too, though, how you pick up a beer and it's like, man, he's an alcoholic. So not only do you have doubters, but you got critics, and you got fake ass friends. And you got people where you say too much and it offends them. Okay. Why can't we all just get along? Because everybody wants to live in the delusion, man. Whole reason why we have Shane fucking selling lingerie. And it's like, man, we're being raped by China. No, we're being raped by women. At the same time too, I say that and it's like, how dare you? Women go through this and that and this and that and da 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 da. Yeah, God forbid a man fucking says what he's going through. Man, you just gotta fucking do more. Get better. We'll get better soon. Just gotta have a good time, you know. So then it's like, what's men's problem, really? Because to me, it sounds like it's fucking women, where it's like, hey, I cheated. How do you feel about it? Oh, I feel like you just kind of used me. And I feel like you really don't give a shit about me, so, you know, and then it's, I'm taking half your shit if you leave, okay? Bye. You were a nobody then, you can go back to being a nobody. You know? Pussy only has 9 lives, so if you're over 10, it's dead. And only when it's dead, it's like you realize, oh man, I had gold way back when. Help me. Somebody save me. Man, this world's cruel. I'm just a woman. Yeah, you go through oil changes every single month instead of every 6 months. Claim that men are the problem. Not all men are, but at the same time too, but not all women are bad either. You know, you got it equal set on both sides where it's like, yeah, we're toxic, you're toxic. And then you got the rest just be like, look at me, I'm even more toxic. Like, here, praise me. Give me your money. Okay, buddy. We get it. You're a bad guy. But are you gonna pay my bills though? At least I recognize these buildings right here. You got Raising Cane's. And then you got Slim Chickens. That's cool. At least there's some familiarity here. Same time too though, it's like, man, you guys are taking everything from everywhere, trying to make it your own. But clearly too though, it's like, man, it's not really working out. If like I'm volunteering out of state, come out here, plow these roads, and build more fucking sidewalks. Because I mean, like, legit. Not a sidewalk on that side of the road, so I gotta cut over here where there is a sidewalk. Oh, this sidewalk ends, but there's a sidewalk on the other side, like, yeah. Doesn't make sense, really. Sometimes you go, it's like, man, too much work, I'm done for the day. Look, man, he's a narc. He's calling me out because I'm fucking lazy. You're fucking lazy too. Where are you working, bitch? How many times do I got to goddamn say it? I'm looking for fucking work. Until that day comes. Like, be walking around trying to find work, so until I get to actually walk to one place back and forth every single day. But then it's funny too though, because it's like, how do we get this dude to shut up? Well, you give him fucking work and maybe then he'll fucking keep his mouth shut long enough to fucking get his job done, you know. Especially see if he can pay these quote-unquote celebrities all this money, shut them up. But then with me, it's like, man, you don't even have a price I can go to. Yeah, I do. What's it gonna be for a fucking label? Like $1 million up front. And if my records don't make profit for you, then you sue me for that $1 million. If your 70% looks like shit. So then at that point, like that 70% goes back into me having paparazzi around me, having media, all this other shit, instead of something that could be useful for you to invest into. And then it's like, we wonder why America's so run down. He's the only one with brains. Yeah, fucking man. Clearly. What, like being the only person? No. But at the same time too, it's like, if you were taught the point from the start, when you were able to walk, talk regularly, you know, you could be starting light work, working your way up until you just can't physically, your body breaks down on you. And it's like, man, he died on the job, we gotta pay out insurance. Well, you were gonna have to do that one way or another anyway, so. Now we're back to the logic doesn't make sense whatsoever. But at the same time too, I don't get how illogically correct, I mean, how illogical mindsets are correct when logic is the only thing that's like, oh man, it's biased. Well, and with that said, then how is you being illiterate and illogical literate. And that's where it gets confusing. Because then you don't know which is which, who is who, and what is what. Because then it's simple to just be like, man, if you hate this place so much, just go down and find a tribe. Well, it's the problem too, though. You still run the same problem. Yeah, they can take you in. But then also too, that while you're hunting with them, you might also be hunted by them. Because then it's like you're still every man for themselves. But then it's interesting too how they all manage to eat together and not eat each other, fight over each other and shit to the death. You know? Like, they'll do onto you, but they won't do it to themselves, if that makes sense. So then it's like, either way, whether you're alone or you have a circle and shit like that, it's like you gotta keep your circle tight. But at the same time too, those we all know, people can change up at any given point. So how many times are you gonna have to change your circle at that point, you know? So if I got a connection slightly past Ashland City and I got a pretty clear map of where everything is and all that, is where it's like I know a lot, but I still don't think I know everything. But then when I say that too, though, now everybody's going to use that also. Like, man, I don't know shit. Well, we're already using them fucking court somehow. And it's like, man, he's ahead of us now. So now I'm behind. And I'm trying to catch up myself. So then it's like, really, nobody's really either ahead or behind. We're just existing in here and now. And whether you choose to show your cards or not is up to you. One way or another, too, though, is where everybody's got to kind of learn to know what to do, where to do it. At the same time, too, though, down here, it's like, you guys exercise your rights to the fucking max. It's like, we're just doing it by the book. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. But I mean, like, you guys figure out loopholes and shit like that, whereas us, we do that, and it's just like, man, kind of lost track of, like, where you belong. And it's like, so I'm lost because you're lost. Yep. That's how that works. So now we're back to being illiterate and illogical again. But then it's also funny too how the one who is too logical somehow becomes illogical. So then it's like, yeah, America's just one big fucking bowl of whoever and whatever. You know, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, Australians are just rejects from the United Kingdom and shit. Yeah, so we're technically rejects of Israel then, right? Even though we're the ones that created Israel. Which is then where it's like, you want to hate on the person who wants to get rid of them. Well, you can push for a better agenda on people who are not even from this country, and then we all have to pay for it anyways. You know, and then it's like, I don't have time for this because now I gotta go back to work. And then it's like, you're still gonna end up piling more bullshit onto us. be like, yeah, when are you guys gonna do something about it? I don't know, when you pay us enough to actually give a fuck. Because it's like, if you really think about how much debt we're in, that's enough debt to at least fuel each of us for $1 million. So then clearly it's like it went in the wrong hands anyways. And of course too, you don't have proof of that. Yeah, you're right. I don't have proof. But I got a feeling, especially too when everything's adding up, where it's like we're sending billions to Israel every year. So then Israel gets to start all these problems and run to that door like a fucking chihuahua, needing help from its fucking parents, being like, it's fucking hurt me, yeah. And it's like, well, we'll send in the cleanup crew, whatever. It is what it is. You know, go about it, write a check, there you go, now they're happy, yay. Woohoo.